Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 17 of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. My name is Kalisha, and you can find me anywhere online as Nadira Tani. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I'm super excited about this episode. I guess more excited than normal because, as you can see in the title, it's my Podiversary. Ugh, I shouldn't dance. But yeah, I realized a little bit ago that September 1st last year was when I uploaded my first episode of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. So, yay! I did it for a year. So, if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. If you are a new viewer, welcome. I hope you enjoy this time spent with me, and thank you so much for spending that time here. Um, I feel like I have a whole lot of things that I want to talk about, but there's not a lot of things on my show notes, so we'll see how this goes. I'm coming to you as usual from my home in Central Florida, and oh, surprise! I have set up a Ravelry group. What? So if you're interested, you can totally join. And I want to have maybe some make-alongs, some chit-chat, I don't know. And of course, there is going to be a giveaway thread up on the Ravelry group that I'll talk about later. Our Ravelry group is called the Quirky Monday Craftcast, because what else would it be called? But you can totally find that by searching in the groups tab on Ravelry, Quirky Monday Craftcast, and you'll find it. So go over there and join. Let's take this fun elsewhere, all over the internet. But yeah, I'm a little today. Calm down. Let's jump right in with finish things. So, since I last spoke with you, I have completed 2 pair of socks. Yeah. I don't think one of them was I believe it was a hole last time, and the other ones were yet dreams. But first, I will show you the first finished object, which is my pair of favorite color socks. I haven't worn these yet because I just love how they look. They are plain vanilla socks knit from DJ Fleece Summer Squash colorway, and the heels, toes, and cuffs are Knit Picks Sour Apple. Yeah, they're my favorite color socks. There isn't anything else to say about them that I didn't say last week, but they're super cool. I love them a lot. Yay. They are currently hanging out in my box of socks. Oh, there is one thing I wanted to show you. I don't know if I showed you last time or if this has happened. So right there, if you see, there's a special little moment in the stitching. So I have been practicing my knitting and not looking, and I've gotten to where I can almost reliably knit stockinette without looking. And I knit these on my 2.25 Chalgu red lace. Yeah, 40 inch. I think that's everything. Yeah, 2.25 Chalgu red lace, 40 inch magic loop. That's what I use to knit these. And so I'm just going back and forth, knitting. I get all the way to the end here, like the end of the summer squash, and I look back and I had split a stitch all the way down here. And it wasn't split like I got most of the yarn and just not all the fibers. Like, that puppy was hanging on by a thread. So I had to go back, and when I weaved in the end, I wove it down to where the stitch was and like looped through it and all kinds of stuff. And then I went back and forth and back and forth. And that's why it's got this little special moment of stitching. But it's not something that you can really see. And there's a little bit of texture there because I'm pretty sure I went too aggressively with the weaving in, because I was just really paranoid that over time it was just going to break and my whole sock was going to fall apart and it was going to be a very sad day in Kalisha land. But yeah, I went a little heavy with the picking, not the picking up of the stitch, but the weaving in and reinforcing. But whatever, they're finished now. I'm excited about them. Hoorah! So I'm going to take this one off of the sock blocker because my next pair of socks, I want to have them both on the blockers so that I can show you just how nerdy I am. So, last episode, I was super excited because the total eclipse was coming. The total solar eclipse was coming, and I wanted to knit socks for the total eclipse. I have this sock yarn by Patton's Croy. It is a self-striping yarn. It's called Eclipse Stripes. So I said, heck yeah, I'm going to knit my eclipse socks. The heels, toes, and cuffs are going to be yellow for the sun, and then I'll have the stripes for the eclipse, and everybody will be happy. So I cast the socks on, I think like the day after I filmed the last episode, and the yarn that I was using for the heel, or for the toe, because I knit them toe up, the yarn I was using for the toe was considerably lighter than the Patton's Croy. And if you've ever used Patton's Croy, you know that it's like, it's a chunky fingering weight. Like, it's heavy fingering. So, yeah, so I didn't like how they were playing together. Like, the difference was like glaringly obvious. So I decided to dye my own sun yarn. And I started with this. This is the Patton's Croy socks in the gray marl colorway. And I dyed it with some yellow and some orange. And I came up with this. And this was my sun colorway for the heels, toes, and cuffs. So this color in the light right here, it's pretty. But when the sun shines on it, it pretty much glows, and it was amazing. So yeah, so that's my sun colorway. And here's the first sock. You're gonna have to excuse how baggy they are because I did wear them on Eclipse Day and I have not washed them. I will wash them. But here's the first sock with my sun. And I decided not to do the heels in the sun colorway because I was scared that I was going to run out. So toe, cuff in the sun colorway, and then the body in the eclipse stripes. And here's where it gets nerdy, y'all. Here's the other foot. It's a moon. So all day when I had these socks on, I was crossing my feet and going doo 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 doo. Actually, it should be like this. I don't know why that brings me such joy. I am the biggest dork right now. So anyway, so these are my eclipse stripe socks with the sun and the moon toes, and then the sun colorway for the cuffs. And yeah, they were very comfortable, very, very thick. Yeah. Now, I normally knit my socks. Okay, let me rephrase that. I have been knitting my socks on 64 stitches on the 2.25 needles, but recently I've been playing around with going down to 60 stitches. Um, just trying to find the right fit. So I cast on 60 stitches on this yarn, and these things were massive. So I actually knit this whole pair on 54, 56. Yeah. I knit this whole pair on 56 stitches, and I still felt like it was kind of baggy in this area. So I don't know what the deal is with Patton's Croy. Their yarn, it's like borderline sport, but whatever. I love them. I love these socks so much. And yes, we did go to see the total eclipse, and I will talk about it later. I'm still crunk about it. So those are my two finished sock. I wanted to mix sock and object together so badly right then, but I couldn't do it. Sock jets, objects. Anyway, those are my two finished sock projects. And the next thing I want to talk about, finished object-wise, is my taco pillow. I will insert a picture. I made a taco pillow, or I crocheted a taco pillow, and I sewed a taco bag. This is what the taco bag looks like. It's just a short bag, and this was for my friend Tiffany, who is the biggest lover of tacos I have ever met in my life. So when I saw this fabric, I was like, obviously I have to make something for Tiffany. And when I saw the pattern for the taco pillow, I was like, obviously I have to make this. So last episode I said I was going to make 2 taco pillows. Only made 1, but it's fine. So here's the outside. And actually, let's do it this way so you can see this fabric. This is the inside with dancing peppers. And then it has a little pocket, and inside the pocket is cheese. So I was super proud of myself for this cute little bag. So yeah, I will be sending this one off to another friend who actually made the cutest clay taco, like zipper pull progress marker, but I put it on the zipper of Tiffany's bag, and she was amazed. So yay for taco gifts. So that brings me to my last finished object, which I'm so proud about. I finished this dress not this past Friday, but the Friday before. I don't remember when I finished this dress, a couple weeks ago. But I finished it on a Friday, and then I was like, okay, I'm just going to hang this up. I'll wear it to church later on, blah, blah, blah. The next day I got up for church, I was like, I don't even know why I tried to pretend like I wasn't going to wear this dress to church today. And I wore it to church because I can't have nothing new. And this is my Simplicity 1873. Do I have the pattern nearby? I might. One second. Yes. No. Yes. Simplicity 1873, and I made this version. Once I got the bodice situation together, it was a lot better. I ended up having to do a ton of adjustments to the bodice, which in hindsight was completely my fault because I took my measurements, and in my brain I said, okay, Kalisha, you need to take your measurements and then find the size that fits like your largest measurement and then take in from there. Which makes sense if it was all one piece. This has a skirt and a bodice. So I could have done the skirt size that fits my hips and my waist and the bodice that fits my bust. I just cut out the whole size for my hips and waist, which was like a size 14, a pattern size 14, but my bust falls into like the pattern size 6. So that was a whole lot of extra work for me, but I feel like the problem solving that I was able to do, along with a lot of help given by my online friends, which I tell you, crafty friends are the best friends. With all of their help, I was able to snatch this bodice together and it fit. And the itty bitty titty committee was happy. So let me grab it so that you can see it. It is on my dress form. See. Oh, I don't know if she's gonna fit over here. I'm like tucked into my little craft space, aka a corner of the dining room. Here is the dress. Oh, I'm gonna get it together, guys. I'm gonna get it together, I promise. Okay. All right, so I had to take like an inch. Yeah, it was almost a full inch out of the side seams. I had to take in the darts, like the front darts. I left the side darts alone. But yeah, there was a whole lot of sucking in. But I'm so proud of this dress. The pattern called for an invisible zipper, but I don't have an invisible zipper foot and I didn't care. So I just put a regular zipper in, which works fine. You can see. Yeah. I still have to put the hook and eye closure up here, but like I said, I finished it like Friday night and I wore it to church the next Saturday, or the next morning, Saturday. Yeah. There's still a little bit, like little bits of thread that I need to get rid of and you know, fix up, but I'm so proud of myself. This was my first time doing pleats, as you can see there. But I can definitely say that I'll be making this dress again. It was, barring all of my extra work, it was very simple. The pattern was easy to understand. Thumbs up. The bodice is fully lined, which this is my first time doing a fully lined bodice. And we'll turn it like that. It's actually lined with a sheet. Fun fact, I love making clothes out of sheets, tablecloths, curtains, whatever. If it's a fabric, it can be a dress, right? So yeah, the bodice is lined, fully lined with a sheet. And the dress is super comfortable. It fits me so well. My husband loved it, and he was my ever so willing photographer and took a couple pictures of me after church, which I will insert. Hi, Keeps. You come to say hello? No? Come here. Oh, she did not come to say hello. She came to say feed me. I'll be right back. It's dinner time. Is it dinner time? Come here. Come here. You gotta say hi real quick. Oh. You gonna tell the people that I'm not feeding you? Is it dinner time? Yeah? It's time to eat? Ooh, she's trying to jump off. All right, it's time to eat. I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. The pups are eating. So yeah, that is my first Simplicity 1873. It is made from African block print fabric that I got from the Sewing Studio, which is an amazing fabric store down here. It's actually in Maitland, Florida. So if you're ever in the area and you fancy some fabric, check them out. Yeah, so that's all I have to say about this dress. Yes. Oh, ironing pleats, not fun. That is all. That is the end of my. We'll put her sweater back on. Finish her outfit. That's the end of my finished projects section. Why was it so hard to say? So I have maybe about a yard left of that fabric. A little bit less than a yard. So I will be able to make some project bags from the leftovers. Maybe share some with some friends. Who knows? Works in progress. I have 3 going. Oh, here it is right here. This one is a sock project, and it's living in a wedge bag that I made. So this type of bag, it has the straight sides, whereas the other project bags I make, they kind of angle in like so. But this is another shape that I'm playing around with. So this, and look, it's got my little knitting girl that I got from KNITLIB of the Podcast. These are what I am calling my Forest Light socks. They are made from, I'm using a hand-dyed yarn that I dyed a long time ago. This is actually half of the cake. I can't remember how I dyed this, but because there was such a stark difference to the inside and the outside of the cake, I want to say that I may have dyed it all as not a skein, but as like one of the balls. I may have dyed it in this shape because one side, or like one half of the yarn, was way more green than the half that I'm currently knitting. So I finished one sock. Take my blockers. Get over there. I finished one sock, and you'll definitely be able to see, of course, you'll completely be able to see the difference. But here's sock 1, and the heels, toes, and cuffs are the yellow yarn that I was originally going to use in the Eclipse socks, but ended up not using. And I'm glad, because I like this yellow yarn with this green colorway much better. And then this is the second sock, which is like, I imagine this is what it would be like if I was like knitting something and I got indie dyed yarn from different dye lots. Because this is the second sock. All right, needles. Here we go. I'll get it together eventually, guys. Look at how different those are. But I love them. I love them like both. So as you can see, it starts off way more dark green up here and slowly starts to fade, getting more and more yellow. And then this one picks up here and it's fading even more and more and more until it's going to get down here where it's pretty much all yellow. And I just love that. Part of me kind of wishes that I would have knit this sock toe up. But again, that just may be my brain wanting to make more work than necessary. So I called these the Forest Light socks because when I got to this one, it kind of reminded me of what it would look like if I was like walking through the woods and the sunlight is streaming through the leaves. So you get that golden green color. Man, y'all, I used to go exploring the woods so much when I was little. And I have not been in the woods in a long time, you know? Like every so often, I feel like I need to get back to some part of nature, be it like put my feet in the ocean or sit at a lake or be in the water or be in the woods. And I need to get out. But yeah, so my Forest Light socks. Oh yeah, you can really see the difference of them right there. But I love them. So that is work in progress number 1. There's nothing else really interesting in that bag. We'll put them over here. Work in progress number 2. Isn't that technically number 2? But it's the second one I'm going to talk about right now. These are socks that I started on the way to South Carolina for the eclipse. And I had my knitting book of a bazillion stitches. And I was just going through looking at the different lace patterns. And I found one that I liked. So I incorporated it into a sock. And I haven't worked on these, I don't think at all, in the past week. But here they are. And it is a mix of seed stitch and lace. There you go. And I really like how these are coming out. Part of me is kicking myself for the seed stitch because man, oh man, is that time consuming. But I like it. And the lace repeat, it is I think it's a 4-row repeat. So it can easily be memorized and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm already kind of brainstorming how I want the lace to continue because I don't think I want it to go straight down the leg and straight down the foot. I may end up doing that for simplicity's sake, but I don't know. It's still fluid in my head. So that is a project / design that I'm working on. And I'm actually knitting this out of Wool Like, which is by Loops and Threads you can get at Michael's. This is actually, I think it's 100% acrylic. Is it? Nope. It's 85% acrylic, 15% nylon. And it's a lace weight, I think it qualifies as. Yeah. So I knit a pair of socks for my mom last year out of this yarn, and she really likes it. So I was like, let me see what knitting a pair of socks out of this acrylic nylon mix is like, at least for myself. So we've got that, and if it turns out that this makes, like good socks and socks that like stay up on my feet, that don't stretch out, that like don't get all sweaty and stuff, I may really look into making more of my socks out of this, because this ball of yarn, I want to say it was like $2.99 or $3.99. Yeah, something ridiculously low. Yeah, $2.99 or $3.99. And you get how much? 678 yards per 100 grams. So that's a lot. Excuse. this is going to be the episode with all of the interruptions. That was my husband calling to tell me that he is on his way home from coaching a volleyball game, and his team won their first game, and he gave me a whole lot of stats that I don't remember. But yay! Go volleyball girls! Woo! So yeah, that is my second work in progress. Now, for the last work in progress that I want to talk about, it's another design project, and I feel like I have been really drawn towards designing things more so now because I'm getting a lot more like ideas for things that I want to do, and either I don't feel like looking for a pattern that fits what I want, or I can't find a pattern that fits what I want, so I end up making up my own thing. So this project is for the So Perfect PURLS pie shawl along, and I will put the details along the bottom of the screen. But she's hosting a pie shawl along. She, being Jade, is hosting a pie shawl along where you make a pie shawl, which is a round shawl, or you can do a half pie, which is half circle. So I was like, well, can I crochet something? She's like, yeah. So I said, okay. So I went on Ravelry and I was looking for crochet pie shawls, and I didn't see anything that really called out to me. So I was like, I'll make up something myself. So I decided to start designing a pie shawl. And let me show you the doodle that I made. And it's like, guys, it's a doodle. This is my doodle. So I started off making my flat circle, and then I went from there. So this is as far as I have so far. There are some hiccups, but it's okay, because we're flying by the seat of our pants. So this is it so far. And this middle section here with the almost kind of a filet crochet flower, I'm in love with that. So my original desire was to do the filet crochet flower and then a block of solid double crochets, and then another filet crochet like with the petals going around it this way. But by the time I got to here, I could not wrap my mind around creating those petals on the stitch count that I had while maintaining the number of stitches I needed to allow the shape to be flat. There was so much frogging. So much frogging. And by the time, like, I think this row ends with like 230 something, maybe 250, some ridiculous number of stitches. So I'm like frogging hundreds of stitches at a time. And so I got to the point where I was just like, I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to be able to figure this out. Whatever. It's going to be like a dog blanket. So, but I have a hard time quitting things. So I was looking at it again and I said, okay, throw out, like, clear your mind of the things that you originally wanted to do. Look at it and just go from there. And I've been kind of freestyling on it over the last couple days, which is a little bit daunting because right now I'm freestyling with nearly 400 stitches per round. So this is what I have. Let me get, where is, okay. This is what I have so far going out from the filet crochet. And you know, I kind of like it, looking at it in the viewfinder. So we have the filet crochet in the middle, and then a solid wheel, and then it goes into like huge crochet lace band, and then I'm going to put another band of solid, and then I think I'll be ready to put on the edging. I think. I'm not sure. I don't think it's big enough. I don't know how to wear a pie shawl. You know, it's not so bad. So yeah, I want to do 5, pray church. I want to do 5 rows of the solid going around, which by the time I finish these huge eyelets, and then I went back and did a double crochet for each chain around. This is where I have almost 400 stitches. But the area where the 400 stitches lands is too many stitches for that diameter, no, that circumference. So what I'm doing now is just working even. And I think I'm going to work all 5 of my rows even, with no increases, to see if it'll pull itself flat. And then I'll put on the edging. This is why I said pray church. This is all the yarn I have left. This was a stash buster project, and this is yarn that I bought in one of those plastic bag, like mill-in type things, like value yarn or something like that. And I had, I think, a total of 4 or 5 of these. And yeah, this is all I have left. So I'm hoping that this will at least get me through the solid bands. I don't think it's going to. And then I'll have the edging to do. So I just need to find something in my stash to do the edging. And that'll be that. If I can get at least 4 of the rows of the last band out of this ball, I'll be good. And then I can do 1 band of solid with whatever the contrast color is that I find, and the edging, and I think that will be fine. But y'all, we are flying by the seat of our pants over here at Quirky Monday headquarters. Flying. But seeing it in the viewfinder really makes me like it. What do you think? Give me some feedback. Maybe I should hold it over here. You can see it better. No? Still the same thing. Yay! So that is my crochet pie shawl for the So Perfect Pearls pie shawl along. And that, ladies and gents, is my last work in progress. With that, we will move on to my dream knitting or needle/hook adjacent projects, or what's up next. Because y'all, I want to do all of the make-alongs. Like, all the alongs. Tootie's back. Are you gonna come say hello? If I let you up on my lap, are you gonna be good? Come on. Okay. Okay. So I want to participate in all of the make-alongs. But what are you doing? Can you sit still? And pretty much all of them start on September 1st. So basically that means that I need to hurry up and finish the Forest Light socks and the pie shawl so that I can cast on all these new things. First of all, there is the slog along. I think that's what it's called. The slog along that Mars of the Hey BrownBerry Chronicles. Hey BrownBerry Podcast. Okay, just take a moment and see how much she's enjoying getting her little head scratched. Does that feel good? Yeah. Don't you wish that sometimes you could just sit down and enjoy something as fully as she is enjoying getting her head scratched right now? We should all have a moment like that in every day where we just completely let ourselves be absorbed in whatever the activity is that we are doing and not worry about what we have to do in the next 5 minutes, not worry about what's coming tomorrow. Just be present in the moment, just like a happy pup getting her head scratched. And that was a Zen moment brought to you by Tootie. Bye. Now more dog hair. I told you guys, this is the one with all of the interruptions and distractions. But we press on. So the Slog Along by Mars of the Hey BrownBerry Podcast is an along that is focused on getting projects done. Like those things that you're just slogging through, that you're just like, oh, I need to get it finished. Finish that. So I was cleaning up in my room the other day and unearthed this gem. This is a crochet cardigan that I was working on most recently, Christmas. And I was like, oh, I'm going to make a crochet cardigan. It's going to be amazing. This is the Karen crewneck adult crewneck sweater, adult crewneck crochet sweater, something like that. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen. But I have the pieces of the body are finished. So I have the back and the two fronts, and I have the majority of a sleeve done. See? I have the majority of a sleeve. So I want to say there's probably like maybe 6 inches left of this sleeve, and then I just have to do one more sleeve, and then I'll have all the pieces and I can put it together. And I don't know how to piece a sweater together, but I'm going to learn. This is what I'm going to be doing for the Slog Along, which also starts on September 1st. So by the time this goes up, I'm going to be working on this sleeve. The next couple of longs that I want to participate in, I had to make myself a list because it wouldn't fit on my pretty little notes page. Whatever. So I want to make another Miette sweater or Miette cardigan because I loved the pattern. I love how it fits, and I want to try modifying it, like using the Miette as a base, like skeleton, and then maybe changing up it has a lace, not a lace, yeah, it has a lace eyelet pattern that goes around the collar and down the button band, and I think around the waist as well. And I kind of part of me wants to just knit a straight sweater with no like fanciness. And then part of me wants to like go into my book of a bazillion knitting stitches and find a lace pattern to put on there. Or I might just knit the miette as Andy Satterlin wrote it, which is also a very strong possibility. Now that sweater, I will be entering into 2 knit-alongs or knit-alongs. The vintage sweater knit-along that is hosted by Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits and the Craftea Chat podcast. So that is Meg and Hannah. Look at me remembering people's names. They're hosting the Vintage Sweater Cow, and then Susan from KNITLIB the Podcast is hosting a cropped top cow. And I will be entering my second miette sweater into those cows. Now, let me show you this yarn. And I completely and utterly blame/credit Susan with my purchasing this yarn. It's also another one of those like bag o' yarns that you get at Joann's, whatever. And I got 2 bags because I was freaking out that I would I don't know why I got 2 bags of this yarn. I'm not a big person. I just have this yarn forever, which is okay because this is the color. Do you see? Do you see how bright this is? It's glowing. It's like actually glowing right there. Yeah, I'm gonna make a sweater out of this. I don't know if it's gonna be like too much for me, but I'm gonna do it. This may have to get entered into, I think Caitlin is doing a big scary cow. And it's like, do something that you're like scared of doing. Neon colors kind of freak me out a little bit. So yeah, I have 2 bags of this yarn and I will be casting on miette with it. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. Like when I first saw this yarn at Joann's, I took a picture of it and I sent it to Susan and I was like, hey, look, this yarn reminded me of you. She was like, oh man, that's awesome. And I went on about my business and I left the yarn there. And like for the next 3 days, I was like, I should go get that yarn. And I could not get it out of my head. So I went and bought it. And then I was like, what am I going to do with this yarn? And then Susan announced her crop top cow. And I was like, there it is. It's so bright, y'all. It's so bright. So bright. So there are a couple other cows that I want to participate in, but I don't have projects picked for them yet, so I'm not going to mention them until I actually start the projects. Coincidentally, everything starts on September 1st. So who knows if I will actually participate in all of these knit-alongs. The thing that I love about knit-alongs is that they give you kind of a springboard onto these are the things that you could do. Because, I mean, when you really look at it, you have like a crochet hook and a ball of yarn, or a pair of knitting needles and a ball of yarn. And there are so many possibilities in that, till sometimes, you know, one can get decision fatigue. So the knit-alongs or the make-alongs kind of give me a road to travel down. So yeah, I will be working on, looks like I'll be working on sweaters, which is kind of funny for this Florida girl, but whatever. Whew. Next, we are going to talk about, real briefly, about some stashquisitions, and then I have some chit chat. So, stashquisitions, earlier I mentioned the sewing studio, the fabric store that I got that African block print that I made my dress out of. And they recently got in a whole grip of other block print patterns, and I may have lost my mind just a little bit. Like, yeah. But in my losing my mind, I was restrained, and I took pictures of all the patterns that I liked, and then I came home and I looked at the pattern, like the dress patterns that I wanted to make, and I made notes of how much fabric I needed for them, and I'm proud of myself, y'all. So I got a bunch of like smaller cuts to make bags out of, but I did get some larger cuts that I want to show you, because these will be either dresses or a dress and a skirt. I definitely know I want to make a dress. There's this one. And this one, it's a wax print, so it is still very waxy, as you can see. Look at that shine. But I just have to pre-wash it. So there's this one, which I love those colors. And then this one, which this blue just makes me so happy. And I'm not entirely sure, like, are these flowers? Hold on. Is it a flower? Is it a bow? What is it? I don't know. I don't really care. It's gorgeous. So I will be making some garments out of these two. So excited. So yeah, those were the main, like the large prints that I bought. But I also bought like half a yard cuts to make a couple bags and stuff like that from my Etsy shop. That is, that's it for Stashquisitions, really. Yeah, I don't think I purchased anything really worth mentioning, but I'm lying. Before I get into the Happy Mail, I bought this bag, which I love. How did I forget about this guy? Isn't that cute? I got it from Joann's, and it's a little tote bag. And yeah, I was in Joann's the other day and looking for one thing and turned around and saw a bunch of these little bags with cute little sayings on them, like randomly on this end cap. And yeah, I had a 50% off coupon, so this came home with me. And it's just adorable. So yeah, alpaca my yarn. Knitting jokes. Oh, we can be such dorks sometimes, but I love it. So the last bit of Happy Mail, or the last bit of Stashquisitions, is a Happy Mail that I received, and it came from Melody of the Melody Crochet Podcast. I will be sending out your package, I promise. But she was the one who made the taco stitch marker, the taco zipper pull that I put on my friend's bag. And so in the package, she also sent some goodies for me. She sent me this mini skein, which is very pretty. It's super soft. I don't know what it is, but it's very soft. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's going to live in my little jar o' minis. And she also sent me a soak sample, which I've never used soak before. So part of me wants to like not use it. I mean, until I have like, oh, maybe I'll use it like when I have to wash all of my socks at one time. That's when I will use this. I feel fancy. I have soak. And then the last thing she sent was her note. And I've put it in my notebook. And Here's her little thing. And she did cross stitch. And she said that she sent this to me because it matched my favorite color socks, which is totally true. Dun, dun, dun. So yeah, I love it. It's super cute. I kind of wish that I had the patience to do counted cross stitch. I tried embroidery once. Do I have anything to show for it? I have a Tupperware container full of embroidery floss. That's all I got. So that is it for Stashquisitions. So now I will tell you guys about my experience watching the eclipse. Guys, it was mind-blowing. I've never seen a total eclipse, as probably makes sense because I think the last time a total eclipse was visible in the US, like anywhere in the US, was like 50, 70 something years ago. But the last time there was one that went coast to coast was like 99 years ago. So yeah, I've never seen a total eclipse. And being able to experience that with my little space loving heart was like almost too much to handle. We, being me, my husband, and a couple of friends of ours, drove up to South Carolina because that was the closest place that we could go to view the eclipse in totality. And it was awesome. We ended up going to one of the Adventist campgrounds that was in the area, and there were only like a couple people out there, maybe like 10 or 15 people. So we got to just, sit and chill out and watch the eclipse. And one thing that it really made me aware of is just how massive the sun is. Not that I thought the sun was like little or anything, but like when you would think that as the moon is going in front of the sun, when you get to like this part right here where this much of the sun is covered, you would think that it would be like a little bit dark. Nah. The sun was like, no, like 90% covered. It's like 10% of the sun, and it's still like daytime. So it just made me think like, wow, the sun is so massive that it can be almost totally covered and still shine like the daytime. So when we were documenting a lot on Snapchat and things because they had all the filters and stuff. And one of the filters on Snapchat had a countdown. And so Lamar was videotaping and posting, kind of every minute or so. And going from where it was like a couple minutes, like 3 minutes to totality, it went so fast. Like suddenly it was dark. And it wasn't dark like nighttime. It was dark like the sun had just set everywhere at one time. And the street lights came on, and like there were crickets chirping, and you could feel like the temperature dropped considerably. It was so eerie. And I was like, okay, if I was like a cave woman and I'm walking around minding my own business, because, if you don't have eclipse glasses and you glance up at the sky, it looks like regular daytime. So I'd imagine myself as like a cave woman walking around, I don't know, doing my cave woman thing. And then suddenly it's dark and I look up and there is a ring of light in the sky. We're all dying. Everybody's going to die. Obviously, this is the end of the world. because I knew what was happening, and I was still like, oh my gosh. So I can only imagine, like, back in prehistoric times when something like this happened. Clearly everybody's about to die. Not even all the way back into prehistoric times. Like, maybe, like, I don't know, back before telescopes. Obviously everybody's gonna die. The sun has gone out. But yeah, so it was really, really cool. And then it was over so fast. Like, I want to say it was like 2 minutes and change of totality that we could see where we were. And yeah, and then it was done. But what can be said that best describes looking at a total eclipse, a total solar eclipse? Mind blowing, stinking amazing, all of those things. So yeah, so when I got home, I of course I was so inspired by the eclipse, and I wanted to create something that evoked the eclipse and that memorialized the eclipse, and you can see them right there. I made a couple project bags, which hopefully by the time this video is up, they're up in my Etsy shop. But these are the new wedge bags that I'm making. And each one of them, this thread, each one of them has the eclipse hand painted by yours truly in a different spot. So I have 2 of the mediums and 2 small bags. There are just threads all over everything. 2 small bags. And I like doing the white fabric on the inside of my bags because, you know, I like to see stuff. But to make these a bit more special, they have, let's see if we can see it. Nope. Glitter. So they have silver glitter on the inside. And each one has a different color zipper. So yeah, they will be going up in my shop. So if you are interested and you want a 2017 Eclipse bag, take a look at the Quirky Monday Etsy. I'll put a link at the bottom. If perhaps I don't have any available when you look, let me know, because these were a lot of fun to make and I can definitely make some more. But those are the things that I made to commemorate the eclipse. It was such a great experience, y'all. I'm so glad that I was able to do that. So yeah, that brings me to the last portion of this video, which is my Podiversary giveaway. Yay! We made it a year. So I wanted to do a giveaway for sticking with this for a year. When I started, I didn't really have any grand plans. I just enjoyed watching other people do this and wanted to share myself. So since then, I have made some pretty awesome fiber friends. I have been greatly inspired. I am consistently inspired by the things that other fiber and yarn artists, sewists, creators are putting out there, and I'm so glad to be a part of this community. So for the Quirky Monday Podiversary giveaway, I have pulled a couple items that I think would be nice to receive. Let me grab them. All right, so first, let me make sure I don't drop anything. We have a Quirky Monday large project bag. This is large enough to be a sweater project bag or a shawl project bag. And in it will be a 100-gram skein of Rowan Fine Art premium hand-painted sock yarn. It is merino wool, kid mohair, polyamide, and mulberry silk. And I have used this yarn before to make a pair of socks, and it's really nice to work with, like quite nice. So this is the color. This is actually, I think it's coming up more red in the picture, but or in the video, it's more of a chocolate brown. You've got some charcoal grays, and then it goes into a light gray down here and some taupe. So that's going in the bag. Then you will also receive a solid lotion bar by the Florida Soap Company. This is a 100% natural handcrafted soap company that's down here. And I recently bought their orange lemongrass scent, and I love it. It's so nice to like put on your hands, and it's not like super greasy. So this is the angel scent, which 100% of the proceeds from the purchase of anything angel from this company go to support women's charities. So the owner works with different charities that help women out, like if they're needing to get out of a dangerous situation, or if they're needing clothes, or help getting a job, or help getting on their feet, or dealing with addictions, or different things like that. So 100% of the proceeds from purchases of the angel scent of any of their products go to those different charities. So one of those will be in your bag. And last but not least, because we all like a little ball of yarn, there is another stitch marker. Stitch marker, progress keeper. It is a ball of yarn with knitting needles in. I wish I could find one with a crochet hook, but you know, c'est la vie. And this I will attach to the zipper with the Made with Love zipper pull. And that, guys, is the giveaway. Thank you so much for being here with me. For if you have been around for the whole year, if you are a brand new viewer and this is your first time watching, if you would like to enter for the Quirky Monday 1-year Podiversary giveaway, there will be a giveaway thread in our Ravelry group, and it will have a prompt that you will need to answer in order to be entered. You will need to be a member of the group and a follower of the podcast so that you can be counted. And I will leave this open for 2 weeks. 2 weeks or the next time I podcast. So as it's been, I've typically podcasted 2 to 3 weeks. So 2 weeks definitely, or until the next time I podcast. But yeah, thank you so much for spending time with me today. I know this was a long one, but hopefully you hung around till the end. And so yeah, check out our Ravelry group, get involved, enter the giveaway, leave a comment down below of something good that's happened to you so we can spread that positivity. And thanks for being a part of my world. Bye, guys.